Okay, so today we're going to learn how to make a geometric slab box and how to put together the box so that it looks like this. The pieces I've rolled out are now in the leather hard state. As you can see, they're a little bit firm like cheese. They're not in the plastic state. They're not very pliable anymore. I've cut out templates to make the box. Two pieces are 3.5 by 3.5. Two of them are 3 by 3, and two of them are going to be 3 by 3.5. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay. You have to make sure, and it's very, very important, that all of your slabs are the same thickness, or your box will not come out the way that you want it to. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cut out all the slabs, and you have to be really, really careful doing it. Okay, so the 3.5 by 3.5 become the bottom and the top. So I'm going to start building it, and this is probably the thing that's going to confuse you. And then the 3.5 by 3 are adjacent from each other, and then the 3" by 3" are adjacent from each other. So it builds itself on top of the box like this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead just like this, and all the sides should meet together to form right angles. So I'm going to go ahead and score the whole bottom, because I'm going to put every slab on the bottom, and then I'm going to score the bottoms of all the pieces. And then on the two longer pieces, I'm going to score here because they are on the outside. And on the shorter pieces, I'm going to score on this part because this is what's going to touch. So I have my whole thing scored. It's in the leather hard state, ready to go. So I'm going to add slip to the bottom of two sides. Then I'm going to add it to the corner of this one. And then I'm going to put this piece on and this piece on at the same time, making sure that they're exactly level and even. And then I'm going to squeeze them together. And technically you should be using the same clay body for your slip. I just didn't have any today. Okay, so this is what we have so far. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other two sides.
Oh.
Don't make it too big. Once we break them, we're going to know pieces. Wow. Yeah, so just like, the double depends on height. Yeah, but on the back. Squeeze it together. Now, after you do this, to ensure that the box doesn't fall apart, you're going to put reinforcements in the center of the box. So I'm going to take this extra clay here and I'm going to trim it. You could use coils too, plastic clay and coils, or you can use this. I'm going to use plastic coils. So I'm going to take some plastic clay in the plastic state and I'm going to roll it into coils about as thick as spaghetti. And then I'm going to put it inside all of the seams, not just the seams running up and down, but the seams running sideways. And I'm going to smush it in there with my finger and blend it in really well. And then I'm going to put one on the bottom like this. I'm going to put one in all of the seams and blend them in. This is going to really reinforce that. But you want to be neat about it. You don't want to be sloppy with any of your ceramic work, even if it's on the inside, because the inside of the box is just as important as the outside of the box. Okay, so for this box, I'm going to go ahead and I have all my coils and all my seams. Everything looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and add the lid. So I'm scoring, and I'm going to score. Okay, and then eventually I will cut the lid off when the design has been placed on the box. I will cut the lid off with an X-Acto knife so that it doesn't slide back and forth. And if you're using a geometric pattern that is square or triangular, then you would want to make the lid square or triangular in its incisions so that you have unity and harmony in that composition. When you're designing the composition also, you have a dominant shape, square, rectangular, or circular. You want to make sure that it leads the viewer's eye throughout the sculpture, because this is our first sculpture that is meant to be viewed in the round. Okay? And remember, when you glaze it, you never get glaze on the bottom. You have your name on the bottom. Now, if you get your box done and the edges aren't quite perfect, I'm going to show you a little trick to make them a little bit more even. So I'm going to use this loop tool, a bigger loop tool, and I'm going to go into my edges like this. Let's say I want this edge to be a little bit smoother. I'm going to take my ruler right here place it right here and just carve that down. And I'm going to do that probably to all of my edges so they're nice and straight, like that. Because you want to have nice sharp corners before you start your design. You don't want to see the edges. And then when you draw the design, you'll be drawing it, so I might use curves so that it leads the viewer's eye all around, and maybe you think about the negative shapes that you are creating with your positive shapes and how important they are. Here. So then I would design my lid to kind of go around my pattern. Do not do this with your lid, because these things will break off if you do them like little teeth. You have to keep them big, like this, so they don't break off. So you want to draw the lid first, like this. And then you're going to take an X-Acto knife and you're going to carve it out with one continuous cut, just like this. You don't want to wait too long to carve your lid out, because it'll be too difficult if the clay gets too hard. And then I could go ahead and put my coils on the inside here and make sure that I finish all the coils there. But do not change this or it won't fit together, okay? So then I can start carving like I did on my relief, so that either the negative shapes or the positive shapes are a little bit lower beveled than the higher or the positive shapes. So we have kind of a juxtaposition. That's it.